Hi everyone and good morning if you're watching this on a Sunday morning. Today I fancied doing a makeup video, which I haven't done in so long. I've definitely kind of veered away from beauty videos over the past year, not for any other reason than I've just been interested in other things. But despite not kind of hoarding new products and new palettes all the time and being obsessed with like what's new, I still have a massive love for beauty, for makeup, all things cosmetics, and I thoroughly enjoy doing my makeup every day. I may use the same products every single day, but I still really enjoy the process. And at the moment, I've really been enjoying taking my time in the morning and doing my makeup before I go out. I've recently been trying to kind of amp up the glow in my makeup. I've got really dry skin. Maybe it's not necessarily dry, or just quite dehydrated and just very dull and flat. I found that over the last year, my skin has definitely started aging more, and I've had to put in a lot more effort to get that kind of young, fresh, glowy look in my makeup. So I'm going to show you a makeup look today that I've been doing recently, which is the one I'm wearing right now. And it may seem like I'm using a lot of products, but one, I really enjoy doing my makeup, so I like to just take my time and do it if I can, especially on the weekend. And two, I've figured out that layering products for me works really well. Lots of light layers. Sometimes if I just do like a 5-product face, I just look so flat, and by the end of the day my makeup's disappeared. So I do lots of layers, lots of glowy products, but just very light layers so it doesn't feel heavy and doesn't clog up my skin. So I'm going to be showing you some glowy primers, a glowy tinted moisturizer, some cream blushes, liquid highlighters, and I'm going to show you how I created this look, which is kind of what I've been wearing a lot, especially over the past 2 weeks. I think in the summer when it's warm, I just want to look fresh and glowy. And I really like this makeup look. I'm just looking at my computer now to check I still like it, but I do. So if you have a bit of time on a Saturday morning and you want to do a glowy makeup look, maybe this video will help you. It's been very strange filming a beauty video. I haven't done it in such a long time. But keep watching if you want to see how I created this look. So get ready to see me with no makeup on, and I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is hydrate my skin. I obviously did my skincare routine this morning, but before I do my makeup, I like to add another layer of hydration. This is from Trish McAvoy. It's the Beauty Booster Cream in SPF 30. It says it's an enriched primer. I used this years ago. I'm not sure where it went, and I just got a new one. So I'm just gonna work that into the skin. And that just adds another layer of moisture. For my base, I'm obviously going to use the IT Cosmetics CC Cream SPF 50. I just haven't found anything else that is as glowy as this, and it's got really good coverage because my foundation tends to just, my skin like drinks it up throughout the day, so sometimes I'll get to the end of the day and it'll just look like I'm not wearing any foundation. So this really lasts for me, but it has the glow as well as the coverage. But I'm actually going to mix it with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter just to add that little bit more glow. How many times am I going to say glow in this video? I'm going to do 1 pump of the CC cream, which actually gives quite a lot in 1 pump. So you might want to use less. And then I'm going to do like, nearly 1 pump of the glowy priming filter. I'm going to mix those together on the back of my hand. And then I'm just dotting that on my cheeks. It does look like a lot of product, but I really work it into the skin. So I've still got a little bit on the back of my hand if I want to top it up. But I'm going to use my Real Techniques, I never know, I think it's complexion sponge or something like that. It's really, really wet, not even damp, it's like soaking wet. And then I just kind of bop it all over my face. I also like swipe it so I get under the chin and down my neck. And I really take my time just to work this really into the skin. I think using a damp sponge for me just kind of shears out the product a little bit. I just like lift my hair to do up by the hairline. So now I take what's left on the back of my hand and I'll probably go in a little bit around the nose and then just keep bopping away. So the CC cream is kind of like a tinted moisturizer, and you don't have to really worry about getting any edges with it because it's just so subtle and it's so easy to use. So that is my base done. As you can see, it's not really heavy coverage. I definitely sheared it out by using the damp sponge and by mixing it with the primer. So it's quite a nice light glowy base, but I've definitely still got some blemishes like on my chin, around my nose, and obviously my dark circles. So I'm now going to go in with some concealer, and I've recently been using this one from Beauty Pie, which is, it's kind of complicated, but I think you sign up, you pay a monthly fee, and then you get really, really great products at a very, very decent price. It's at like cost price, so they don't add any sort of marketing faff that makes it more expensive. But anyway, they sent me this concealer, which is the Super Luminous Concealer, and I really, really like it. It comes in this tiny tube, And then it's got a little sponge applicator. So I'm going to use a little bit of that under my eyes. I think this concealer has really great coverage, but it's definitely got a lot of glow to it. So it doesn't look too heavy on. But I find so many concealers are too sheer for me. They don't actually do anything. So this actually works. I've got a few spots I'm going to cover up. Now I like to go in with a damp sponge again, but then sometimes that does sheer out the concealer too much. So I do go in with a second layer sometimes, but I'm going to see what it looks like today. I think when you do your makeup, you just have to like assess the situation as you do it. Just keep looking in the mirror and use daylight as well. Obviously now I'm using lights, but I normally go by a window. So I'm using the sponge just to pat that into the skin. It's usually under my eyes where I need a little bit more coverage. I've always had quite dark circles since I was a teenager. Although makeup artists always tell me that I don't have dark circles, but I feel like I do. I also get quite dark eyelids, so I take the concealer up my eyelids as well, and it kind of works like a primer. I'm using the round side part of the sponge just to make sure it's not sitting on top of the skin, that it's really kind of meshed in with the skin. It's such a nice concealer. So as I said, I'm going to go in with a tiny bit more just under my eyes, like one little dot and one little dot there. And then I tend to use a brush just to kind of pat that. I really need to wash this brush. It's not working as well because it hasn't been cleaned for a little while. So that is all my concealing done. I'm really enjoying using that concealer at the moment. I know a lot of people powder right at the end, but I don't really tend to powder my skin. It's only in recent years, maybe the last year, that I felt I had to powder under my eyes, mainly because I do put so much concealer there and I use very glowy, hydrating, kind of wet concealers. Also, just because I'm aging, I'm going into my 30s soon, I get quite creasy around the eye area. So when I'm doing a particularly kind of hydrated, glowy look, I like to take the Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is a really, really fine powder that you can hardly see. It doesn't make your skin look dry at all. I take a bit of that on the brush. I need to get a smaller brush because I just use this for my eyes and it's quite big. But I tend to just kind of swipe that under the eye area. And that will kind of set the concealer in place. I'll do it on my eyelids as well. And that will hopefully stop the creasing. But I don't want to take the powder anywhere else because I really like to look glowy everywhere else on my face. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of bronzer now, and I don't want to do too much. I want to keep it quite fresh, so I'm going to use the Body Shop bronzer because it's very light. This is in shade 05. So I'm going to take a little bit of that on the Real Techniques Point L brush, which I really, really like. And then I'm just going to put that on the tops of my cheekbones, a little bit on my forehead, down my nose, just kind of all over, but I'm really using very light hand and a very small amount of product. I don't want any kind of heavy contouring going on. At this point, I like to do my eyebrows randomly. I'm still using the Benefit eyebrow pencil, and I just fill in the front. It's very boring. I don't do anything fancy with my brows. And then the arch, where my eyebrows kind of dip at the arch. Whenever I get my eyebrows done, they always fill my eyebrows in with a really dark pencil because my eyebrows are dark. But I actually prefer using a sort of lighter brown, just so it's a bit subtle. I know it's not a perfect match, but once it's on, you can't really see. And I feel like when I use a dark pencil, it makes my whole like eyebrow look a lot darker and heavier. And they're already very dark. I'm also just gonna use the Pixie eyebrow clear gel. Run those through. This isn't like my favorite one ever, but it's just the one I'm using at the moment. My eyebrows are curly like the rest of my hair, and they're very hard to tame. Before I go in with any kind of blusher, I want to glow up the skin even more, and I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow. So you can use this as a primer, but I really like to use it as a kind of skin highlighter. I just take a little bit onto my finger, and then I pat it on the tops of my cheekbones. And you can use quite a bit because it's not like a really heavy highlighter. It just adds this like dewy glow to your skin, and I really love this. I'm going to put a little bit more on the other side, take it quite far down and quite far up as well. And then what's left of my finger, I'll take down my nose and I'll put it on my Cupid's bow. So as you can see, it's not really a highlighter, it just makes your skin look a little bit more glowy. So sometimes I put a bit of highlighter on top, sometimes I don't. I'll see how I feel when I get to the end of the look. For my blusher, I'm going to be using the Glossier. Is it Glossier or Glossier? Glossier. I think it's Glossier. I think I've been saying it wrong for ages. Anyway, this is the Cloud Paint Blush Cheek Colour. So it's a cream blusher. This is in the shade Dusk. I wasn't sure how I felt about this for a while, because as you'll see, it's very sheer, but I do quite like it now. It goes on quite dark when I first pat it on the cheek. I'm going to kind of pat it in, but then I'm going to use this brush to blend it into my cheek. So can you see, once you blend it out, it's kind of not as scary as you think it is, and it adds a really nice like fresh colour. I think I like it. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure. Maybe I've got the wrong colour, but the formula's definitely interesting. This is a really great product for taking on holiday. If you're like by the pool, if you like wearing makeup by the pool. It's a very, very light blusher. As I said, sometimes I like to add highlighter and sometimes I don't. I think today I will, just because I really want to amp up that glow. I'm going to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. Again, this is like a liquid highlighter. I'm going to put a tiny bit on my finger and I'm going to pat it on top of where I put the Charlotte Tilbury. This one's a bit more of a liquid highlighter, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury one can definitely be used as a primer. For eyeshadow, I'm going to use the palette that I'm holding as a mirror, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Look in a Palette, Instant Look in a Palette, and I'm going to use this second shade, which is the Enhanced colour. I'm just going to put that all over the lid. I love these light shimmery eyeshadows for summer. They're very fresh. You hardly need anything. Really, really easy to apply. And then I'm going to take the third one, which is Smoke, and just take that on the outer corner and a little bit in the crease, just to define that a little bit. I usually take my eyeshadow under my eye as well, but I feel like in the summer, if you want a lighter look, it's nice to just keep it on the top. But I am going to take a bit of this Topshop Matte Smoke Stick in Sphere, which is just like a chunky brown eyeliner, but it's very faint, and you can just line the top lash line. And then you can either use your finger or you can take a brush and just blend that out. It's really subtle, especially because it's matte. It's very easy to do if you're not good at liner. This literally requires no skill. For mascara, I've been reunited with an old favourite that I haven't used for years. I went to a Clinique event this week and they gave us a little goodie bag, and in there was the Clinique High Impact Extreme Volume Mascara, which I used to absolutely love and rave about. So I want to see if it's still a favourite of mine. Oh, it's so good. If you need to wear waterproof mascara, definitely do so in the kind of warmer months. That will help it transferring onto your lid. This mascara just gives me really long, full lashes. And again, I'm just keeping that on the top lashes and I'm not doing the bottom. I think usually I would just leave it there and put some lip balm on, but I'm gonna use this lipstick because I wore this yesterday and I really like it. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna give myself a little mist. This is the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I have the tiniest amount left in here. I'm going to New York at the end of the month, so I'm definitely gonna pick up another one. This is, as it says, a dewy skin mist. It won't set your makeup necessarily, but it will just add a little bit more glow, more dewiness, and I really like it. It's quite an oily mist, just to be aware in case you have oily skin, but it's definitely good if you have dry skin. Okay, now I'm gonna do my lipstick, and yesterday I tried this, again, it's from Trish McAvoy. It's the Liquid Lip Colour in Mauve. It's quite like dark for this look. Maybe I'll try rub it in with my finger and see what happens there, just so it's less kind of perfected. But I just really like the colour. I'm gonna do a really light layer. I'm not gonna go around the edges, I'm just gonna kind of blur out the edges with my finger. I just think that's such a pretty colour. Face wipes to the rescue. Pretty sure that's the makeup look done. I really like it. I just think it's very glowy. Like, I don't know if you can see on camera, but the glow on my cheekbones, I'm really loving that. As I said at the beginning, when you have dry, kind of dull skin, I feel like there's just nothing you can do to get that glowy look. And everyone's talking about getting the glow. Sometimes I just feel like my skin looks so flat. So yes, there's quite a few products and quite a few layers, but I think if you just take the time and enjoy the process of it, I love the finished look, and it doesn't feel heavy at all because every layer is very light. So it just feels fresh and glowy. And I don't feel like I look sweaty either. I don't know if the lights are making it look like I look sweaty, but it just doesn't look like that in the mirror and it feels great. So I hope you guys enjoyed my like old school makeup everyday look tutorial type of thing. A very chilled video for you this Sunday. I hope you have a really nice day. I've got another vlog coming on Wednesday and another podcast coming on Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to our podcast this week. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. As always, if you have any requests for videos, please let me know. I have so much going on at the moment that sometimes I struggle to take time to just brainstorm and think of things. Loads of you sent me requests on Twitter, so thank you for that. And if you ever have any requests on here, just leave a comment. What else do I have to say? I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.